Hey, guess what time it is?
It's time for science.
Hey.
Okay, so get out your book,
Hey.
get out your highlighter. I don't have one here, but get out your highlighter because we're going to highlight a few things. I am going to come to page 190. I'm going to be on page 190. Changes from weathering. Okay. Now I want you to look at that rock right there and look how that rock has been worn. What wore that rock? That rock was not always had those creases in it. What do you think wore that rock away? You're right, it's water. I know you said the right answer because I know how smart you are. So I'm going to read you from Changes from Weathering. Some forces wear away the surface of the earth. Water is a force that can wear away rocks, soil, or other substances. You may have noticed changes to the ground after a rainstorm. One change can be seen at the edges of buildings. Dripping rainwater can wear away soil or even rocks or cement. The dripping may make a hole and form a puddle. You may have heard someone refer to a faded lawn chair as being weathered. The term is often used to describe things that look old from exposure to the weather. Like when you leave your toys outside and your sand pail, your bucket was really red when you bought it. And then by the end of the summer, it was very faded. We call that weathered. And it is because of the weather. However, the term is also used to describe how rocks wear away. Weathering is a process of breaking rocks into smaller pieces. Some natural causes of weathering are water, wind, and plants. All right, you need to highlight if you haven't already. I want you to highlight the last two sentences. Weathering is a process of breaking rocks into smaller pieces. Some natural causes of weathering are water, wind, and plants. Now, we've had trouble with our something with our quiz. So one of our questions is name two causes, in the quick check, number 2, name 3 natural causes of weathering. Even if it marks you wrong, if you put water, wind, and plants, you're right. I don't know what was going on. But water, wind, and plants are 3 natural causes of weathering. Dripping water can cause weathering, but water can cause weathering in other ways as well. When water constantly flows over a rock, it slowly wears away the rock. You can see this at the edge of a waterfall, in a rocky stream, or along a rocky coastline. Some weathering caused by water happens when temperature drops below freezing. The process of weathering by ice is called frost weathering. When the temperatures are cold enough, the water in and around rocks and soil freezes and expands. The expanding ice works like a wedge and causes the cracks to widen. This may cause parts of the rocks to chip away and sometimes even to break apart. See that picture over to the left? Weathering can cause a rock to split. Now, listen, if you get a water bottle and you fill it all the way to the top and you put it in the freezer, it's going to burst. Because there's so much water, when water freezes, it expands and it's going to cause a mess, and your mama's probably not going to be too happy. But if you want to get a really good water bottle, one that stands up, one that's not bent, one that hadn't been worn, get it and fill it even half up, 3/4 full of water. Put it in the freezer, take it out the next day, and you will see what that frozen water's done. It's expanded, and now the bottle that used to stand straight is kind of wobbly or something like that. But don't fill the bottle up to the top. I have proof I told you not to fill it to the top. Okay, so if your mama says, why did you tell them to do this activity? I'm going to say, well, watch the video. Just kidding. I know you won't do that. Rocks can also be moved by ice. When the water under and around rocks freezes, the ice can move the rocks upward. This is why stones in colder regions are sometimes found on and near the surface of the ground in the spring. In addition to moving rocks to the surface, ice loosens the soil. This causes the soil to expand. The ice separates the soil particles and moves deeper soil toward the surface. Plants can grow better in loosened soil. So always remember that when you garden or even just when you plant flowers, loosen that soil up. So look on where it says science, the history part on the bottom of 191. One famous structure in Egypt is the Great Sphinx of Giza. I think that's how you pronounce that. I'm not sure. Some scientists believe that the Sphinx is about 4,500 years old. Other scientists disagree. The Sphinx sits in a desert and shows signs of weathering by wind and sand. Scientists now believe that some of the weathering may have been caused by water. The location of the Sphinx has been The location of the Sphinx has been desert. I don't know how to say that. The location of the Sphinx has been desert for 4,500 years. Sounds like they would use deserted, doesn't it? So the scientists think that to have experienced water erosion, the Sphinx had to have been built even earlier when the area's climate was wetter. Until more information is found, though, scientists will have to keep testing hypotheses about the age of the Sphinx. That's really cool. I might try to find us a video on that because that'll be a cool thing to learn more about. Now turn the page. We're almost finished. Go to page 192. Another type of weathering is abrasion. Abrasion is the process of wearing away rocks by friction. Most abrasion happens when water or wind causes rocks to rub against the other rocks or against sand. The abrasion action causes the surface of the rocks to become smoother or smooth. Moving water can cause this to happen. Now, if you go out to a creek that's running or a lake or anything that has running water and you pick up the stone and the stones are so much smoother than the stones you pick up in your driveway, it's because the water has ran over those and has polished them, making them smooth. Wind can also cause abrasion by blowing sand and bits of rocks. The bits hit another surface and wear it away. But if you think about wind blowing and wearing something away, do you think that would happen overnight or years? I think that would take years to happen. Unlike maybe if a heavy rain came and the rain hit and made a hole and made a big puddle, that might could happen overnight. But I think the wind blowing the sand, that would take a long time. On the last paragraph, plants growing on or under rocks can cause parts of the rocks to weather as well. The roots of a plant may grow between rocks or in cracks in a rock. As the roots grow, they force rocks to separate and break. Highlight that. As the roots grow, they force rocks to separate and break. Roots of plants can also weaken a rock surface. The roots of ivy climbing on a stone wall may cause the surface of the rocks to chip. Now, most of you have already done the quick check. I don't know what's going on with it. I don't want you to worry about it telling you got it wrong, all right? We'll work on that. We'll do something later for our grade. So quick check, name 2 causes of land moving upward. If you go back to page 189, we highlighted this. So 189, we highlighted right smack dab in the middle of the page. Volcanoes and earthquakes can push land upward. So name 2 causes of land moving upward. What did we just say? Volcanoes and earthquakes. I'm going to send you a cool video next week on this. Yes, Mary Hope, you can watch it too. Name 3 natural causes of weathering. We've already went over that. It's on page 190. We highlighted again. It's right smack dab in the middle of the page. Do you see that at the end of the second paragraph? Water, wind, and plants. Okay, water, wind, and plants. So that's it for today. You've got to go and I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. Go and fill out your study guide and finish that, and then I will post a video for tomorrow, and I will read the last little bit that we have to read, 3 pages, and I will go over your answers to your study guide with you so you'll make sure to have the right answers. Okay, it's a beautiful day. I hope you're enjoying this. And be outside. And they might be watching this at 11 o'clock at night, so don't go outside at 11 o'clock at night. But Venus was really pretty last night. Hey, I love you guys so much. I miss you. Be good to your parents. Be good to your mamas. Clean up your clothes. Clean up your mess. Be a helper. And don't complain.
I miss you. Bye.
Mary Hope misses y'all. And I do too. Bye.